Hey, you're listening to the FitFunKaz podcast. I am Kaz and I am your host. Today's episode is fitness, the love that I have for fitness, how it changed my life, how I lost 54 kilos and kept it off, and how fitness can change your world too. And it can create the most beautiful, exuberant fire within you, as well as give you that energy, surprisingly, out of an awesome workout. So let's wind it all back. I was 111 kilos and I made it my mission to transform my life. And across these episodes, this is the last episode where fitness transformed my life on the 6-part episode journey of me and losing my 54 kilos. So fitness and me, let's wind it back. I have 2 beautiful kids, and during those pregnancies, I made it my mission to absolutely hit the pavement. So my first tip to anyone starting out was crawl before you walk. And my love of fitness actually began with pushing a double pram up our local streets and going for beautiful walks. Now, depending on how the kids were that day, it could have ended from 30 minutes up to an hour. And that was, again, a lot of pre-packed snacks to make sure they enjoyed the ride at the same time. But my love of fitness actually started at walking. And my goal was to be at a healthy BMI weight range and lose that visceral fat off my tummy. And I swear still to this day that walking will do that for you. It will remove any of that excess fluid. It will help with your digestion, but most of all, it will start removing that visceral fat. So my first love of fitness actually came from walking, and it got me out and about. And obviously, the mamas out there, right? You've been looking after the kids. You might be doing nighttime feeds, depending if they're newborns, toddlers, etc., feeding during the daytime. That is your outlet to just getting out and about. And if you're fortunate enough to get good weather, some beautiful vitamin D, and just also that just nature alone to clear your mind. So my love of walking actually really, I embraced not only the starting of my fitness journey, but also the embracing of me and my mindset and how much better I was as a person by going for those morning walks. Plus, the love of a sunrise. I am such a sunrise person. If I could be up early enough to get that solo walk in, I would. And if I couldn't, I'd be taking my kids, whether it be on mat leave or in the afternoons after work. So fitness was walking, so crawling before you walk. The next was doing at-home workouts. So busy schedule, 2 children. I needed to make sure I fit something in before the kids woke up, and that was my next plan. So doing workouts, and I call it the 5 a.m. club. I still do. I would be up early. I'd have my nice cup of coffee, and I would do my at-home workout. So at the time, I was doing the Michelle Bridges 12 WBT challenge, and I was fortunate enough to have so many cool at-home workouts that could start shaping me in the right way to getting me back to the gym. So I knew that my at-home workouts were a short-term solution and that my gym was the end goal to getting into that even fitter, more leaner body. And so it didn't matter whether you had a good night's sleep with, children waking up, but the at-home workouts definitely showed me how to improve myself, but also how to work out without no one watching. And I know that that's a big one for people today. There are the gym goers, but then there are other people that just don't want to go to a gym. And I respect that. I actually found that I learned so much more in myself by working out at home. So I do believe there is a place for that, whether that's working out at home, whether that's just because you are, short on time and schedule. And that there is some peace that you can find in that. Whether it's in the morning or evening, you can find that and you can give that back to you in that form of self-care. So I am so grateful for the at-home workouts. And obviously there was some absolute grueling workouts, whether that be in cardio or weights. Now, when I move into that subject of cardio and weights, my best yet was probably doing the combo of the cardio and the weights. So I started off with, as I said, walking, and I then got into my cardio fitness. So I started doing like 1K time trials, and I'll never forget it. I was never a runner. I played netball in my younger years and I played many sports, but the one thing that I just didn't like doing was running at a continuous pace, like someone was hunting me down. And, I could tell you many stories of where I cried because it hurt me. And someone being of a bigger, size 18 frame, it did not suit my frame and it did not suit my heart. It did not light me up at all. So me and running today much better relationship. But me and running starting out, doing a 1K time trial, that was tough for me. However, again, by creating that level of toughness then allowed me to improve over time and give you that grit, give you that stamina and push through the mindset. Also, mobility is a huge part to play with, whether it be in running, gym, but I had to learn to stretch and I had to make sure that, there were days where I just didn't feel it. Let's test it out, Kaza. Let's crawl before we walk. Go for a walk, run, and let's see how we go. In this 1K, you just have to do it. Time. You don't have to sprint that 1K. You can walk and run. Who is telling you what you can and can't do? So I also learned that, my standards are pretty high, but at the same time, I also learned to actually give back and love myself, and that, there were some days better than others, but that 1K time trial, honestly, was a great way of shaping myself, improving myself over time, and putting myself to a great test, both physically and mentally. So during the at-home workouts, I obviously got stronger and I knew, right, I had to go back to the gym. So that was where my beautiful relationship restarted again with Good Life Health Clubs in Australia. And see, I was a member prior, pre-kids, but that Kaza, that bigger Kaza, she'd go to the gym. She had a personal trainer. Thank you, Jay Saltmarsh, if you're listening. He trained me 3 days a week. But on top of it, I needed that support. But on top of it, I also had my career that usually got in the road of those sessions. So I also knew mornings and afternoons for me were a thing. I had to train mornings because I was more likely to cancel. And that is, it's a shame because you need to put your life first. But at times, again, career takes off. And that takes the priority. So it was finding that balance. But for me, I had to get up early and I had to train in the mornings. So I'm now re-entering Good Life Health Clubs after there was a phase of me paying for a membership and not going, because there was plenty of that too, whether that be in other gyms. And I just literally probably went a couple of times and went, this is not for me. So you need to find the right gym that suits you. You can feel it in the people, the support around you. And that is where fitness and me became even bigger than I already was, with the community and the like-minded people and the supportive people that you actually receive by signing up. So I strongly advise anyone that's looking at gyms, there'll be some that suit you and there are some that just don't float your boat, and that is okay. Find what works for you. But I am so grateful for Good Life. I had a huge successful fitness journey with them. So I re-entered after many years. I had a short break and then came back, and this was beautiful because they had a creche at the time, so I could take the kids. So this became a journey of not only me but my kids and getting to go to the gym. So this is where I really gave it my best. I had an hour, and that was either going to a group fitness class, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. My love for group fitness is huge, or doing my own weight sessions or a cross-functional training session at the gym. But that I learned was the me time, and that is 1 hour of my day that I get to have back for me. Now, that Kaza started to grow as far as the stamina, the muscle, the burning of the fat, and that Kaza was probably around, I don't know, probably 95 to 85 kilos. She knew, right? She knew she could get up and go. And because the person that I was pre-kids was around about 85 to 95 kilos. So I was still doing boot camps at that weight. I was still going to the gym at that weight. But as we've spoken about in previous episodes, me and my fitness journey and my food journey and my drinking, and that chewed up a lot of my calories and created a lot of weight gain. So I knew I could start working out at that 95 to 85 kilo mark and start putting myself to the test. And this is where you start to learn your own fitness levels, and it's you versus you. It doesn't matter about anyone else at that gym. It doesn't matter about anyone else in that group fitness studio. It is you. And I found I had probably even bigger heart, even bigger mind. My brain thought it could do so many more things than my body physically could. But that is okay because I had a vision, and we spoke about that in the mindset episode around seeing yourself there. So that allowed me to push that little bit more. That allowed me to go to the rest breaks. And when you get that countdown at the group fitness, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We don't stop at 3. we keep going to 1. And I had some really cool coaches that helped me along that way to make sure we'd push to that 1-0 countdown. So again, anyone listening, if you hear that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, I encourage you, push at your very best, because you know there's a rest coming, especially if you're doing the cross-functional hitch style of training or Les Mills, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But please push to your very best to the end, not because we're starting the countdown. And I made that a goal too. I made that where, come on, Kaza, don't slacken off, don't slow down. Again, it's you versus you. It doesn't matter about anyone else. They can slow down. That's them versus them. You have to work to the finish. And that's where the whole I'm going to fight to the finish line theory came about. And whether that be in a group fitness class, whether that be pushing out those last amount of reps in a weights session, or whether that be me and running, because then let me tell you, me and running started a 5K. I started my own little 5K club of running on the Gold Coast. And this is when we moved our family to the coast. And that's where I began to run even more than 1K. And let me tell you, we'll fast track, save you the journey. I absolutely love running 5Ks. Me and running, especially beside a beach, oh my God, it just lights me up. It's that endorphin kicker, it is that cardio kicker, and it is that beauty of being beside a beach and seeing the sunrise. There was just like, this was YOLO moments. So over time, you will get to have a love-hate relationship with fitness. You'll get to feel like you're waking up some mornings and go, I don't want to go. Can I tell you, everyone, on those mornings, you especially need to go, unless there's something physically stopping you, or, family members absolutely need you. But I encourage you to just give it your best on that day. And that day could be at a 50% effort, not a 80 or a 90 or 100. But those were the days that magic happened, because they're the days that you think, I could have not gone today, but I had the best day from just giving myself 50%. And I will talk about this in later years around tricking people into training. So I am a personal trainer now. Obviously, this love grew for fitness, and I got my personal training accreditation, and I'm now a certified nutritionist. But I honestly believe, do it at 50% as opposed to not doing it at all. You'll thank yourself. And when we talk about walking, go for a walk and just do a 10 to 15 minute walk. It doesn't need to be 45 minutes. Or go to the gym, start on the treadmill. That's the other tip I always have for everyone. Start on the treadmill. And the reason why you start on the treadmill, even if it's for 5 minutes, you are positively gearing your mind and body up to enter the gym arena or to enter that gym class. And if you can, that's allowing you to warm your body up at the same time, but you are mentally preparing, and anything that you didn't want to do before almost starts going out that window. Treadmill can be your friend. Treadmill is a warm-up. Treadmill is a great cool down. Treadmill can just be your workout for that day if you don't feel like doing weights. But I absolutely encourage you. And going to weights, right? So my love of fitness and cardio kicked in. But my weight journey doing weights didn't actually start till around that 75, 70 kilo mark. And that was just simply because I had a lot of weight to lose. And that cardio alone, plus my body weight, was enough. And I did a lot of body weight exercises as well. So I also knew, and I know in today's day and age, and we've got different theories on all of this, but again, in my journey, I just knew, I believed, I also researched, and I watched many cool shows where I watched the bigger people transform, and I watched some very successful personal trainers in America and see what they did with the, plus 100 kilo people, which is like over 200 pounds. And bring them down to size. And I remember there was one girl and she really wanted to do weights, but we had to start with cardio first in this episode. And so I knew, I took that upon myself, that I wanted to just, again, go back to the crawl before I walked. And so weights and me became a thing. I'm grateful, though, that I introduced that around the 75 kilo mark. That's like over 150 pounds, because what that did for me was allow me to transform my body and tone up. And so I was not as, saggy as such. And, that is the small price to pay for losing weight. And for anyone that has lost weight, whether it be through exercise, whether that be through eating, of a deficit of any kind. And I know we have many variations of that today. Everyone chooses their hard and everyone chooses their life. And so I have huge amount of respect for anyone choosing your own weight loss journey and choosing you're tough, choosing your heart, and choosing whether you decide to exercise, whether you can exercise or not. Because I also know that not everyone can exercise. So this is, I can and I will. I am so grateful that I get to do that every single day because not everyone can. So the weights journey then became a thing for me. I very much enjoyed, again, the squat rack in me was just like the running. And I literally, there was days I just didn't want to squat because my hips hurt or my knee hurt. And again, that's just the small price to pay of, say, being at a bigger person or being, a netballer of the past that dislocated her knee. But when it comes to injuries, you have to work within your means. It's just because it's not one size fits all. And because whether you're doing an at-home workout, whether you're doing a beautiful program that you follow, or whether it be you've got a personal trainer or you're going to a group fitness class, you do what works for you. And I go back to that whole do it at 50%. The same goes for weights. The same goes for any other fitness style. You work within your means. And so those days that I didn't feel like my knee joint wanted to bend so much, that's okay. We lightened up the load. I also made sure I warmed up and I have exercises that I can do. So I know that, is it the joint or is it literally the connective tissue around that area? And hey guys, again, past life, I was a sports massage therapist too at 20, massaging many, many people and helping them with their own recovery journey. So this has helped me immensely. It's funny how life goes and all of the things that happen and all of the things that you take under your wing to allow you to grow and help others. And that, again, I knew was my life mission. I had to help people. So thanks so much if you're watching this far. Back to the weights. So squats, leg press, another great alternative if I didn't want to do squats. The machine work. Anyone out there right now that wants to start their journey or wants to start doing weights because you've lost the weight or, it's a part of your program, I would strongly advise start on the machines, the weights that are pin loaded, that are easier for you to change and maintain. That was another one of my go-tos. So a leg press or a lat pull down or a seated row. I know that the bench press and me, again, I had to have a spotter to start with. And so I had a personal trainer. That's the other one. I do recommend getting a personal trainer, people, if you want to fast track your learning. And I know that is a fine line between spending money and getting your own health and wellness. But I strongly recommend personal trainers are your friend. Doesn't mean you have to have them forever. It doesn't mean you have to lock it in forever. But I do believe, right, some of my best tips that I ever learned was from the personal trainers that I got at the gyms because I needed help with correcting my form to prevent injury. I needed help with, postpartum recovery and going back to the gym. I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing. I had C-sections with both of my kids, so I wanted to make sure that I had the right support. And so I do recommend, and I know, right, we can just go to the gym and do the do. And hey, that's okay too, because I've had plenty of life lessons and I've learned a lot myself as well. So there is that self-discovery. But if you want to fast track, again, go to someone who is an expert that can help you. So weights honestly toned me up. Weights gave me the shape that I needed. Again, another transformation in itself of weighing yourself on the scales versus seeing the physique change and seeing, the best way I described it was putting on a pair of shorts or a t-shirt and or your previous year's swimmers and making sure did they still fit. Because even though the scales are going up, my muscles started to grow. And I knew very quickly, again, with the right nutrition, with the right training, that was changing me again and changing my physique and being okay with that. Because again, this is life, guys, and it's your body. And as I said, it was me versus me. You do you versus you. And so that was another cool thing of transforming me in a great way possible. And I know that when I got down to my leaner sizes, so like in that sort of sub 70 kilo mark, doing the weight training transformed me, and doing the weight didn't actually shift those scales much at all. Probably lost like 3 kilos in 12 weeks, but I know that my physique changed. So when you see, whether it's in my pages or others, I like to take photos and I like to take videos, and I have shared this journey publicly, but that also helps you see the change. So another recommendation when you're at the gym, we've got so many cool mirrors, whether it's your own mirror at home, please take photos, because even though those scales might represent a number, that's not always the realistic life situation that's going on at the time. And so by taking those photos, you can see the change. So please remember that. And even that, the 111 kilo me to now, I still have to look in the mirror. And that's simply because I have to appreciate what I have done, and that we are quick to move on to the next thing or what we need or what we don't have. And honestly, I go back to that mirror episode, and I think that's in either episode 1 or 2, where I say goodbye to the old me. But I have so much love for her. And I know I speak about her like she's my bestie, but honestly, that person, she's still there. She's just transformed, and she has given herself the right to live this best life that she knows possible. So when it comes to fitness, people, honestly, it will change you. It will give you energy. People ask me, why do I have so much energy? It is literally because fitness lights me up. And that's how this came about, the FitFunKaz name, this FitFunKaz podcast of sharing and caring, because this is, I love to be fit. I love to have fun. And I swear, I go to the gym, I go to a group fitness class, I will just feel the energy in the room is just electric, and I love to have fun. So I know that I like to share that with others. So throughout this journey, I then transformed my career as well, because it became me. So pre-COVID, I then said goodbye to my corporate life, and I got my personal training accreditation. Now, can I tell you, that was not all roses. I lasted a year. I set up my beautiful business, which is called Core Fitness, and I did boot camps at New Farm Park, and I also train and still train from my shed, and that's another story in a moment. But there were many ups and downs, like everyone experienced in COVID, and the fitness industry was getting hammered with shutdowns, lockdowns, as we all did, many different industries. But I lasted the year, and guess what I taught myself in that year? Was how to give back to so many special people that supported me with Core Fitness, but also supported me through a time that was really tough and challenging as well. The world was changing. We didn't know what was happening next. And on top of it, personally, we had to say goodbye to my husband's dad. He passed away. So it was really quite a sad moment, but fitness, not only getting to train myself, but now training so many others, lit me up. And I knew that this was the life purpose. And that through any sort of darkness, through any sort of change, so long as I had movement and so long as I could help people, then this was the life I needed to live. So financially wasn't the best. I went back, and I'm so grateful. I had a fantastic career over the last 3.5 years with Coca-Cola, Euro-Pacific Partners, and Amatil back then. But I got to experience so much cool things, whether that be through sales tools, marketing, etc. But the bubble up effect continued to happen. I needed to give more, and I needed to give this life more. I was still doing my fitness. I was still helping people, but I knew I was not done yet. And I thought closing those doors to Core Fitness was the end. But again, I went inward. I learned my meditation. I learned how to, stay on track with my own fitness. However, again, caveat to that, life happens. I got a heart injury from the jab, and that can be another time, but I am better now, and I'm so grateful that changed my life. But if I didn't have my health, if I didn't have my fitness, that would have changed my mentality. That would have changed my mindset. And there was some dark moments there from, getting told that you couldn't train anymore because, my heart would go into a tachycardia state, and that I'm grateful I had so much help, both holistically as well as medically. And I'm grateful that I have bounced back from that. But even this journey alone to get to now, that changed my life. That lit my heart up even more. I knew I had to share this journey, and I knew I had to be a part of something greater. And so I said goodbye again to my corporate career and thanked them so much for all of the beautiful lessons and career opportunities I had. Finished my diploma of nutrition and dietetics with AIPT, and away I went again. So not only am I a personal trainer, I now am certified as a nutritionist, and on top of it, I have a wealth of experience with losing weight, getting fit, fighting the fights with health, and transforming your life for the better. And so I'm here now, and I'm so grateful because this has been the best journey that I could ever tell, apart from having my beautiful kids and, our beautiful family life, because that is honestly that's where, home is where my heart is. But sharing this story with so many and helping so many, and, oh my God, I can get so emotional over this because this is the journey. This is the life purpose, and this is giving back. This is fulfilling so many people's lives. I have to share those parts of the story because I know some people can easily think, oh my God, she's so energetic. Oh my God, she's so happy. And I choose happy. I choose a healthier life. And that comes from darkness. That comes from journeys. That comes from experience. That comes from, not nice places or not nice experiences and people that taught me so many life lessons of what I didn't need or no longer served me anymore. But without my fitness, without getting to go to a place every single day, my life would be different. I don't know if I'd be sharing these stories. I don't know if I'd be doing a podcast or now getting to relaunch my business. Core Fitness is alive. I train people from Rochedale South in Queensland and Brisbane, and I'm about to go remote as well. So again, if you are needing someone to cheer you on, I am FitFunKaz, and I can help you with nutrition. I can help you with even just personal coaching, because I do believe, right, you need people that have strategies and tactics, but you also need someone that absolutely lights you up and believes in you more than you believe in yourself some days. And there are days like that. So I know I'm a motivated, self-motivated person, but I do believe there are your people in your corner that are always going to cheer you on. So I'm so grateful I get to open this business again. I'm so grateful I get to then share these stories because, again, fitness. Don't underestimate that beautiful walk. Don't underestimate that group fitness class that you're going to meet someone there that becomes your bestie and that you get to train beside them every single morning while most of the world are still sleeping. And that is the fun part. Like, you hear me talk about stories of, drinking and alcohol and partying. FitFunKaz, she is the party. She still gets to party, but it's in a group fitness setting or it's in her own earphones working out and doing her weights program now today. And getting to go to my new gym now, which is World Gym, but getting to also train with people all around the world with my new program with the Naked Training Team. I am so grateful. You never underestimate the people that you will meet, the paths that you cross through fitness by going for that walk just to the coffee shop instead of driving, by getting those extra steps in because you work in retail and you're going to go for a walk on your break instead of sitting at your desk. They will create opportunities. It does make you feel better and it gets you moving in the right way. It has a knock-on effect then to the nutrition. If you haven't listened to that episode, that's how I lost the weight, calorie counting through my fitness power, but you are more inclined to eat better when you are training. And so they go hand in hand. And lastly, it's the mindset. Because it will improve your brain and it will improve your mental health. And going for that walk, doing the weights, doing the heavy weights, doing that hard Metcon, whatever it takes, breathe through it. It is a moment. And most of all, hold on to those moments of happiness because literally that will just create a contagious feeling in your body that will have you coming back for more time and time again. So team, thank you so much for listening to this episode of fitness, of fun. This concludes the journey of the FitFunKaz and the Kazza that lost her 54 kilos. I thank you so much for listening to all 6 episodes. It is a series. It is on YouTube and it is on Spotify. And I can't wait to share way more exciting news to come. I'm also, and I cannot wait to start interviewing many inspiring heroes, fitness people that have also lost their own weight and getting the common denominator and what are our patterns that we absolutely have in common, don't have in common, and we get to build this thing called FitFunKaz and share so much good news. And that was the ultimate goal, was to share good news with this world through health, fitness, and fun. So thank you so much for listening. I'm FitFunKaz. Please, again, if you haven't liked and subscribed to this channel, please do. And for all either speaking events, fitness, nutrition, coaching, reach out at FitFunKaz@outlook.com. That is FitFunKaz@outlook.com. Thank you so much, everyone. See you soon.